Hey guys, and welcome back to the full-time travel planning series. In today's video, we're going to be talking about things I value while traveling and how to make sure that you're not only taking the perfect Instagram photo, but you're also living it too. So guys, what do I mean about getting that perfect Instagram photo? A lot of the times we can be so focused on getting that right photo, that right shot, and this isn't for content creators, this is for everyone, anyone that takes any photos, that we can end up missing out on what the overall experience is all about. And so in this video, it's going to maybe feel a little bit centered around what my interests are, but the focus is to give you examples of the 10 things that I value most while traveling. And these things are things that I try and focus on to ensure that I can have the most authentic experience. I can really make sure that I keep myself grounded on what I really love about traveling. So that way when I get done with my traveling, whenever it is, I can look back and truly feel like I've been able to have the best possible experience. And guys, I want to mention that the list is not in any specific order of my favorite or least favorite. So by the end of this video, I'm hoping you're gonna have a pretty good idea of some of the things that I value, and you can start putting together a list of what are some of those things you value and make sure that's built into your daily routine, your daily lifestyle, and your daily travels. So let's jump right into the first thing here. For me, one of the biggest things I like to do is to wake up and see that beautiful sunrise. That is one of my most favorite things to do. To be there at the crack of dawn, enjoying a coffee, and just listening to nothing but the sounds of nature and the sun rising. Number 2 is making time to meet new people. Some of my best relationships and friendships have been created through traveling the world. Those experiences that you have with someone and meeting people, they're cherished to a whole nother level because you're experiencing something that a lot of people don't always get the opportunity to. When you have those memories with another person, you have that much stronger of a bond together. So I always try and make it a thing to go down to the common area in the hostel, meet people, talk to someone on that excursion that I'm on.
There isn't anything I wouldn't do to prove that everything I say is true. And if you let me, I'll keep loving you. I just can't change my emotions. Come on, love me again. You're all I need. Can you love me again?
Number 3 is looking for excursions outside of the norm. I love to find a unique excursion. I like to do some of the on the beaten path stuff too, just because a lot of the times that's how conversations start with people you meet around the world. Have you done this or that? But when you take it to the next level and you do a unique excursion, you have that much more you can expand on, share with people, and most of all, you can cherish as some of your best memories of a country or a place you visited. Personally, using Airbnb experiences, I found this amazing tango experience in Argentina where I learned so much about not only the history of tango, but the importance of it to the culture. I learned how to tango and I suck at dancing. How was that even possible? I don't know. And then I had empanadas at the end and we made a new friend. It's like that really checks all the boxes to have such a localized experience, and it meant that much more to me. And I'll always love tango because I've learned it in such a way, whereas if I would have done something a bit more mainstream, I would have just been like, ah yeah, I tangoed before. Maybe, I'm not saying for sure. But just because it was so localized, it was that much more meaningful to my experience. Number 4 is trying local cuisine. I found myself at first very hesitant to do this. Some stuff just looked gross to me. It wasn't familiar. It wasn't normal to me. It's not what I had growing up. But then I realized, like, why am I worried that just because it doesn't look like what I'm familiar with, it's not going to be good? And there are so many great food dishes that I have had since I started making sure that I try the local culture. Don't get me wrong, there is a lot of stuff that I found that I'm like, wow, this is why I didn't try it. But there's also a lot of things that I'm like, geez, if I wouldn't have tried this, then I would not have realized this is now one of my favorite foods.
That's a good one.
Number 5 is learning some of that local language. Now, you probably saw in my other videos, I mentioned learning some of the greetings for safety reasons. For me personally, I love to learn a few more words past that because it's fun. It's really enjoyable to be able to converse with the locals. Even if it's only a few words, I feel like I have that much stronger of a connection when I'm able to say some of the words or, get somewhere with them and, get them to smile or maybe make them laugh because I'm pronouncing something in such a stupid way. But I find that as one of my favorite things while I'm traveling. Number 6 is a new one for me actually. It's going for hikes in unique places. I was not much of a hiker. I'd see a sign for a trail and I'm like, yeah, I'm heading to the beach. The beach is that way. Alright, I know, that's an old stupid joke. Anyways, going on a hike was just not my thing. And now I've really learned to love it. Number 1, it's giving me a place to just think when I'm going for a long hike. Number 2, it's getting some great exercise. And number 3, when I'm climbing or hiking up a mountain, it's really pushing me to another level, and I'm quite proud when I reach that summit. When I reach that summit, I almost feel like it is an analogy to so many other challenges that I've ran into in life, where I'm like, hey, I really pushed myself through this hard time, and by hard time I mean when I was hiking up that hard part of the mountain when I just wanted to give up and go back down. When I just kept pushing and I got to the top, I totally forgot about that struggle that I had the whole way, and I was celebrating because I made it to the top. While I was doing that though, I realized that the journey up it was one of the most important parts. I know it sounds a bit cliche, but when I'm climbing mountains now, I can totally relate it back to that, and it helps me when I approach other goals in life because I'm just ready for them now, and I'm ready to get through the hard parts. I'm ready to get through the days I don't want to wake up and do it.
We're about 20 minutes into a hike in the world.
Guys, we made it. Number 7 is taking long walks, similar to hiking, but taking long walks just through a city. I find myself doing this more and more because I try and allot a certain amount of steps per day just to get that physical exercise. But additionally, I find that walking around a city is one of the best ways to truly learn the city and get to know it. You walk around places that aren't going to be on TripAdvisor. You're not going to find them in blogs or vlogs. You're just going to find up in hopefully only safe areas. But you're gonna end up in just random places that are just fun to walk around. And that's something that I've taken on in the last couple of months, where every city I go to, I spend at least a few hours walking around, which equates to probably at least 10 kilometers. Number 8 is watching beautiful sunsets. You probably could have guessed because I said sunrises at the beginning of this video, but it's just another form of amazing relaxation. Seeing the beautiful earth in a whole bunch of different colors that I hadn't seen all day just really lights it up in so many beautiful ways. Personally, I'm in Wisconsin right now, and I had one of the most beautiful sunsets I have seen, and I don't know if it's just because I've been quarantined for a while now, but I'm pretty sure it was one of the most beautiful sunsets. It lit up the area that I call home in a way that I had never seen before. And that's what I truly value about sunsets, because you see a side of a place that's completely different than you walked around during the day, just with how those colors are. I could literally talk about sunsets for hours with how much I love them. It's where I spend the most time filming with my drone because it's just stunning to capture the world like that. Number 9 is focusing on a new skill every couple months. This is a big thing for me because when I find myself traveling, I do find myself, even when I'm very busy creating content and traveling and meeting people and doing all these other things that are important to me, I find myself having some extra time where I want to invest it in something. And something that's been important for me is to learn a new skill every couple months. So one of my favorite ones was learning to cook. I've never been much of a cook, but once I started cooking much more, I realized, 1, it's fun. 2, I'm able to save a lot of money doing this. 3, I'm actually getting pretty good at it and I'm starting to enjoy it. So it's been really just a great thing for me to learn that. Additionally, for me, there's other things I've tried to learn with like specific things related to filming stuff. You know, how do I get better at this skill? I'll really focus on that for a few weeks so I can hone in on that with my spare time. Number 10 is just simply going off the beaten path. Now that can mean so many different things, but I love to have very, very unique experiences. Now that can be interpreted in so many ways, but I think the best way to say it is going down that trail that's less hiked. That's more of an analogy because we already talked about hiking. But that is a big thing for me, is to not always just follow exactly what the top 10 blog post says, but also create that top 10 blog post, and not in reality, but create that top 10 in your own mind. These are my 10 best experiences because I took it a step further and did what I wanted to do in this place. So guys, I hope you didn't mind hearing my rant or my love or whatever you want to call it about the 10 things that I value most while traveling. My point of telling you all of those and making a video specifically on this was because we all have our own interests. We all have our favorite things about the day, the favorite things about traveling, the favorite things we like to do when we're exploring, when we have that free time. And it's important to remember those, and it's important to write those down so you can look back, you know, after traveling a month or 2 months and say, did I do everything I've wanted to do? Is my day-to-day life and routine everything I want it to be? Or can I start waking up a little earlier to catch that sunrise? Can I start trying a few more local foods? I'll tell you that these are some of the things that when I look back, I'm so grateful for them because they're hard to quantify, they're hard to teach someone because they're your own personal inner enjoyment, inner fulfillment, however you want to describe it. And it's something that only you can figure out for yourself, but hopefully you can feel a bit more inspired after I showed you some beautiful drone shots and my own experiences and really kind of talk to you about how passionate I am about some of these things in this valued video. Alright guys, and so that pretty much wraps up this video. In the next video, we're going to be talking about driving tips in a foreign country. So what the driving tips are going to be focused on is ways you can mitigate risks. Obviously, I can't cover every driving law in every country in the world. That's near impossible, or it would just take me years. But what I can tell you is that in the next video, we're going to talk about many important tips that are going to help you mitigate any risks, and they're going to make you feel more comfortable when you're driving in a foreign country. So guys, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and it'll make sure you don't miss that video or any upcoming travel content we release. And if you've liked this video, give it a thumbs up. It'll help others like you find this video. And thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next video.